Good morning, everyone. How are you?
Good morning. Feeling good.
Yeah. Why do we feel so good?
Well, I feel good because I feel like this is a topic that I'm really excited to talk about, personal branding.
Okay. Well, I feel good because I started my day with a meditation.
Oh, yeah. Well, that too.
Yeah, Andrea got me a singing bowl. Do you know what that is? Type yes if you do. Okay, no, we're here to talk about marketing stuff as every morning. And today we will chat a little bit about personal branding. Misunderstood very often, Andrea will explain to us what exactly that is.
Yeah. So, according to Wikipedia, personal branding is a conscious and intentional effort to create and influence the public perception of an individual. And you do that by creating a persona to position a person as an authority in their field.
Mm-hmm.
And so ultimately, you're going to be elevating their credibility and increasing their circle of influence so that they can have a wider reach and so that they can ultimately be influential.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds to me like a personal brand is not a logo, it's not fonts, it's not colors. All of those things are sub-elements of a brand. But really, Andrea, why don't you tell our viewers, not too long ago, we attended an amazing evening speech by Brian Smith, who's the Ugg Boots founder, and he basically gave us a short definition of brand. Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
Okay.
I remember how I felt. And I think that really speaks to his personal brand as well.
Yeah, well, that is actually exactly the definition. He said the brand is what people feel
Yes.
and think about you when you leave the room or when you're about to enter the room. Okay. So if you, for example, let's take me. Just because I am very narcissistic this morning. I know that when I go to my local chamber of commerce, people don't necessarily remember that we run a healthcare marketing agency. No, they speak of me as the smart guy from Europe who knows all about web stuff and marketing stuff.
That's true.
Right? And that is a brand.
It really is a brand, actually. Yeah. I remember when I first met you and when I went to chamber events, and that is exactly how people spoke of you.
Mm-hmm.
So you had influenced your circle and they thought about you in a certain way. They spoke about you in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And that ultimately advances one's career.
Yeah. So that is not necessarily a brand, is not necessarily something you can always steer. Only if you're very advanced in how you strategize establishing a brand, then you can actually achieve that. But let's give one more example of a brand, because I think it's a very easy one to understand for folks. Let's take the Apple brand, for example.
Think different.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we have the logo, we have the colors, we have the fonts, and then we have all their products. But really, the Apple brand is think different. And also, what do people say? It just works. It has high design. It's a little bit more expensive, but in return, it's dependable. You don't have to replace your devices as often. And I think that's very, very powerful for a brand.
I think so too. And really, when we think about the process of branding, it's about finding your uniqueness or finding the company's uniqueness, creating or conveying a message and then being known for that. And I do think that they are known for, like, the biggest comparison I have. Of course, I'm a little bit biased because I'm an Apple nut. So I have all of my devices are Apple, but it absolutely does work and it's superior. I never have to replace it. I choose to replace it when there's something new that comes out. It's state of the art, cutting technology, cutting edge. And they've always had that same look and feel. It's represented by the actual hardware that they have too. They have sort of this elitist kind of branding that goes along with it, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree.
And that, do you think that makes them unique?
Well, I don't know if they're unique, but they're certainly unique in that sense, that in the sense of being known for that.
And that's
right?
exactly it.
Worldwide. Yeah.
That's the tricky part.
Mm-hmm.
Because the truth is that sometimes it is difficult to, like, people just want to build websites and do this and do that, and they don't actually have anything that they have identified themselves as unique. You ask them what's different from their competitor, and they will literally list some of the same features that the competitor has.
Yeah.
And they don't understand, like, how can you create a brand around something that's not unique?
Yeah, exactly. And you know what the king category of branding is when something very specific happens? It's when the name of the brand becomes a synonym
I knew you were going
of
to say
the
that.
service
Kleenex.
or product.
How many of you say Kleenex? Give me a Kleenex, even if the tissue is some other brand, or maybe Charmin, or, I mean, a number of things, right?
Yeah.
Coke instead of soda. That's really powerful.
That is very powerful, yeah. Well, if you want to learn more about marketing, branding, business development, I actually have a very affordable version of our coaching programs with it, Shanks.club. Go take a look. But I also want to briefly bring up a speech that I have for the Direct Care Alliance on April 22nd, which is in 2 days. And what that conversation will be about, I'm going to blend this in briefly. Sorry, Andre, I'll cover your face here briefly. Here, what? I cover mine too, so we're on equal footing here. So you can see myself and Dr. Diana Granida, who is the co-founder of the Direct Specialty Care Alliance, and we will have a chat about personal branding for direct care physicians. That is, of course, very specific, but I think it will be highly, highly helpful if you are a direct care doctor. For those of you who do not know what a direct care physician is, I believe Andrea can help us.
But you got to stay tuned.
All right, she doesn't want to do that today, but she just knows the answer. She just knows the answer perfectly, but she wants to keep you hooked, and that is the trick of creating webinars, online shows.
And by the way, you really should attend, because you need to find out how to ultimately convey your message so that you can monetize your product. But you can only do that successfully when you have a personal brand that works. So beyond all of that, there is a reason, there's a rhyme and a reason behind having influence, behind increasing your circle, behind making people aware of who you are and what your uniqueness is, because ultimately you have a message that comes along with your product or your service, and you want to figure out how to monetize that successfully. That's what you need to be known for.
Exactly. And by the way, if you consider yourself a direct care physician, I will place the Zoom link, or the registration for the Zoom link. It's a register only program. I will place that somewhere around the video. And if you don't see it, just direct message me. All right, it's getting close to our daily stand-up meeting, so we'll wrap this up. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.